So the Atlas, aside from being four-wheel drive and super high quality and beautiful, one of the things that it got popular for was how customizable it is. Everything from being able to switch out between four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive, the wheel options you had for it, and all the parts Xway offered that you could add onto your board. I don't know if that's really customizable. It's like,
hey, here's a incomplete product, but you can buy these extra DLC things for it if you want.
I don't know, I kind of wish the Atlas just came with all the extras already installed, and by extras I'm talking about the belt covers, the motor guards, and just all that fancy stuff. I did go through the process of getting all the extra stuff and customizing the Atlas almost completely, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you about my experience with it, which wasn't too good, to be completely honest with you. So first off, the belt covers. The belt covers is super essential. It eliminates you having to maintain your board a lot more whenever you get rocks in the belts and stuff like that. So initially, I made a mistake by ordering the wrong sized belt guards. There's 66T and 56T. Apparently 66T is for street wheels and 56T is like the default pneumatic wheels. I have the default pneumatic wheels and I accidentally got the street wheel belt cover thing, so that was my mistake. But initially I had this issue where I just couldn't get a certain screw into the motor guard thing, and it just, like, no matter what I did, it would not line up. Eventually I realized I had the wrong belt cover, so I ordered the correct one, and still had the same exact issue where that one screw, or not one, but actually two screws, would just not go in because the hole would just never line up, no matter what I tried. I spent hours and hours adjusting the barrel thing, seeing if, like, pulling it out more would help. Literally nothing I did helped. Eventually I was able to completely warp the piece into place and force it, but that's definitely not how it was intended to be installed. The tutorial video that Xway had made it look super simple, but it by no means is anywhere near that simple. And upon posting about it online, I noticed a lot of people had the same exact issue where they just couldn't get those two screws to go in because the holes just never lined up. So eventually I didn't even put those screws in. And the piece was held in place by two other screws, and I'm not sure how safe or smart it is to ride without those two screws in, but everything has stayed stable and it's been pretty good so far, but it's not something I'd recommend doing. But I've been riding for a while without those screws in and it's been fine. I feel like those screws really just kind of protected the inside of the barrel from getting debris inside. So that could be an issue, and I should probably just put something there so nothing gets inside. But in terms of the piece being held in place, there's already two screws that hold it in place really well. So those two screws aren't necessarily essential, but I wish I had them in because I feel like they're supposed to be there. Even though Xway designed it to where you just can't put the screws in for some reason. Okay, I don't know how well you can hear this, but there's a lot of scraping, and it's the axle scraping against the belt cover. So if I go ahead and take the axle off, you can actually see right there where the paint is scraping, where the axle scrapes the belt cover, and it's right there at the top too. Now, what's crazy is this is the correct size belt cover right here for the 56T axle. You can see right there, you can actually see it right there, 56T, right there. Right, so right here I have a different size belt cover. You can see right there, this is a 66T. This one is actually bigger than this, which doesn't make sense. I thought this one should be bigger since this is for off-road wheels, and this one should be smaller since this is for, like, street wheels. It's possible I'm wrong because I don't actually know much about this stuff, but it's just what I'd assume, since the axle for street wheels would, I assume, would be smaller. But anyways, let me just take this off now. As for the motor guards, those are pretty simple and straightforward, and I'm pretty happy that that part was at least easy. It made up for all the hours I wasted with the belt covers. My friend Max and I got together and spray painted some parts, and we really decked out our boards. We even spray painted some parts of the fenders, which was also pretty straightforward and simple to install. But one thing that got me about the fenders is the fenders they're really tight. Like, they're pressed up against the barrel of the motor, or at least the outer casing of it. So whenever you start riding on it, you hear like the creaking of like the plastic like pushing each other. I did take off my front fenders just to make the noise less annoying, and after a while of riding, it seems like the fenders have kind of like broken in and like that noise isn't really there anymore. But I also have the 4-wheel drive model. If I had the 2-wheel drive model, the front motor things wouldn't even be there, so the fenders would be perfectly fine. So I don't know how optimal fenders are for 4-wheel drive boards, but it probably is also just something you kind of have to break in. But yeah, there was a lot of creaking from the fenders being pressed up against the motor guards. And I had it installed correctly, which is weird. The only way for me to have been able to fix it would have been for me to come up with my own solution and raise the fenders up with extra parts from like Lowe's or something. But yeah, anyways, I loved how that turned out. And as for the grip tape, there isn't really custom grip tape designed how the Atlas default grip tape is designed. I did see someone say online that if you put custom grip tape on it, it might affect the waterproofness. And I'm not sure about how accurate that is, because on top of the board there is like a crease where I guess water could technically seep into the board. But even with the default grip tape, not all of the creases is really covered up. So I'm pretty sure it's sealed regardless of what kind of grip tape you have. One thing I found out by accident though, which was really cool, is the default grip tape is actually 2 different pieces. There's the foam piece that absorbs shakes and vibrations, and there's actually a separate grip tape piece on top of it. So I just took off the grip tape and I kept the foam stuff, and I used it to cut out the shape of the grip tape into a custom grip tape I had, and I just put it on top of the foam. And it worked out really well. I'm super proud of how it looks now. So, I mean, the overall end product kind of makes it all worth it. I'm really satisfied with it, but there was just so many weird hurdles that honestly should not have been there. Like the screw holes never lining up. There's the weird thing with the fenders, which I'm still not sure about. I honestly would have paid extra money for the Atlas to have come with all these pieces already installed. That would have made my life so much easier. And things like the belt guards or the belt covers feel like they're pretty essential, so I kind of question why they weren't on the board by default anyways. Now the fenders I can understand, that's kind of optional, maybe you like the look of it better without the fenders, but I don't know, those are just things I feel like should have come with the board by default. Now there's other extra things that are out of XY's hands. For example, cloud wheels, tread lights. I didn't get the cloud wheels because I'm actually pretty happy with the pneumatic wheels, but my friend Max did get the cloud wheels. He got the 20 milliliter. I feel like I just used the wrong unit. Laugh at me if I'm wrong. The 20. He got the 20 wheels with the 20. And those have worked out a lot better for him. And it's also because he did somehow damage his wheels and just air constantly seeped out of them. So he went with the cloud wheels so he wouldn't ever have to worry about that again. And on top of that, having the cloud wheels actually extended his range by a lot. And we both got the shred lights, which is also pretty cool. And I also like that the fenders have the built-in shred light mounts. They look really cool. So yeah, fully decked out Atlases. We took advantage of what the Atlas was marketed to do, which was to be fully customizable. At the end, it was worth it, but then again, a really stressful process overall. Maybe this will help you with deciding if you want the Atlas or not, or help you decide how you're gonna go about customizing it if you already got it, but I'm happy with it now. Atlas is cool. Good job, XY. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.